Here we go again. Hold on. Bow, rec mode on. Here we go again, man. Here we go again. That come from Portrait. I like that song. Nice old blend of whatever kind of swing they had going on. And a little bit of rap. I think the song early 90s or something like that. Portrait. Here we go again. Dope one. I'm gonna start bringing in my podcast like that instead of saying I'm back. Here we go again. It's Sunday, man. It's Sunday. I seen a little bit of Detroit Lions take a L. I think Houston took a L. What's the name of their quarterback? C.J. Stroud took a concussion. CTE protocol, concussion protocol, kept him out of the game. I think they lost by like a couple points, a field goal or something like that. Woo wee, woo wee. I got a good topic today, y'all. A good topic. Yeah, good topic. Um, don't be so cold hearted. Forget about the 48 laws of power. Forget about how rigorous you think you got to be, man. Uh, you ain't gotta be so cold hearted. You could give out a pass. And I got a couple stories I wanted to bring up. One of them is just in my youth. You know, I stayed downtown Newport News, Walker Village, 25th Street, second parking lot. And hold on now. Let me turn this down. Hold on, that ain't even that. That's that. Man, this joint doing too much. You know what? You know what? About to turn all these notifications off. You know what? They ain't even on. What's going on? It's that computer doing too much. Hooked up to my phone. Matter of fact, I want to turn the Bluetooth off. Nah, cause then I ain't gonna be able to control the lights. You better stop acting a fool now. But just when I was younger, like I came back around Newport News. I was in Jersey with my pops for a few years. I think 8th grade to 10th grade. I don't like that. I don't like that. That's my phone. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm about to shut you down. Hold on. Disconnect this. I want you out of here. How I get you out of here? You lucky I don't know how to get you out of here. You lucky. I can't even move the jaw. How you disconnect? Okay. Okay. Think I got some. Get up out of here. I got some. My phone connected to my laptop, so all the notifications popping up on my laptop, and it's ringing in my ear, and it's ringing on the stream. So I had to shut that down. Go up inside that app, turn the sound off. I think I'm good to go now. But yeah, I can remember when I was younger, man. Matter of fact, let me introductions, man. It's King Sound the Powerful, man. This let's get to it, and that's a tour with a U, cause I always got you on mind. Yeah, in Walker Village, man. I was in Jersey for 3 years. Come back, I think I was like 14 years old. But not really on my path on my journey. Just young. But I used to see a lot of dudes, younger brothers. You know, they tag along, try to tag along, hang with their older. And these was like not no couple years, like maybe 5, sometimes 7, 8 years. Our junior. And I just remember them, when I see them, I ain't want to be mean to them. They ask for something, I give them some candy, I give them whatever money I got in my pocket. See, I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm a this computer. I don't like that. It keep blinging on me. I'm gonna keep this short because I'm gonna get to the bottom of that in a second. But when I used to see these little kids and stuff, man, I just, I felt the affinity towards them. We all from Walker Village, so I see them play football with them, and I used to try to connect with them. Just who I was, nothing involved with it. But I remember, I wound up doing a stretch, uh, 8 years, 10 months, and I came home. I got locked up when I was 17. I had just turned 17, like maybe it was less than a week after my birthday that I wound up getting incarcerated. But these young kids, when I came home after about 9 years, they grown now. They 19, some on 21, and I'm trying to figure it out. And a lot of them still remember me from me not being cold hearted to them, me being nice, me trying to make a connection with them. And all my life, that's the type of person I am. I try, you know, I try not to rub people the wrong way. I'm quite sure I do, but I try not to. I try not to get on your bad side. I try not to do no extras. If I see something, you know, you being violated, I might step in, try to save you if I can. That's just me. That's what's on my heart. People done did it for me before. I remember I was younger. Friends that I had interceded for me and stopped me from getting the worst treatment. Stop their friends from blindsiding me or backdooring me or whatever you want to call it, sneaking me. And I just felt like, why not be good to like, if the situation demands you have to, you know, step up to a challenge, okay, but you ain't gotta be, on edge at all times. It's some like you could be vulnerable, man. There's nothing wrong with it. I think sometimes people get too caught up and they don't want to be vulnerable. They want everybody to see them in a certain light, and I get it. Sometimes you got to do that, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes you can be open. But I was just thinking about it, man. Like, man, that's it helped me, and I just wanted to pass that on. Like, sometimes you ain't got to be as hard on somebody that's not, you. You can see somebody going through struggle and strife, and you ain't got to be super critical on. Like, you can extend some sort of compassion, for lack of better words. Like, could be empathetic, sympathetic. You could do that. Some people choose not to, but you could do that. And it's just, my life been filled with people giving me passes. I done gave a lot of passes out, but people done gave me a lot of passes as well, and I respect that. So sometimes something in me, my conscience be speaking for me, like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. And some people, I think they disregard that, and you can't. Sometimes you see somebody struggling, going through it, you can't pile on, man. Sometimes your voice is the only voice they got. Sometimes your compassion, your generosity may be the only generosity that person receives. So, I just wanted to drop that on y'all, man. Keep it pushing. I seen some in the screaming down the internet today. I think Big U son got killed, and I think what's his name, Bezu, THF Bezu got killed over the Halloween. I think between Halloween and over the weekend, and it's like, man, you never know which direction life gonna go in. Sometimes, man. Sometimes you'll be thinking like, not me, but the unexpected. Expect the unexpected, because it does happen. And a lot of times I like to spread a little bit of extra love, extra compassion, not just to save myself, because I know I would need it. I would need it. Like, I would hope somebody would do it for me, be more compassionate towards me. So I'm just gonna put that out there. I got a story for y'all. You got a little bit of compassion in there, a little bit of compassion and empathy in there. All right, this story. I was in Southampton, the Big South, and they got Southampton got like a boot camp program. It's a correctional facility. For some of y'all don't know, Cape Brown, Virginia. I think Nat Turner, uh, the Turner, what was it? Oh man, I forgot them people named the Griswolds. I think some of they ancestors, was in that melee, in that uprising, that Nat Turner, reportedly some of the people they killed, they was Griswolds. And they was actually at the institution working in there, and there was some Turners. I didn't know what happened. I've heard of the story, but I didn't know. But when I get there, you know, that was the home of where all that happened on those plantations. And when I was at Southampton, it's like barrack style institutions. Like you got C1, C2, C3, R1, and I think R2. It was 5 buildings. And it looked like a barracks to me. And one day I was looking it up in an encyclopedia, and it had, plantations up there. And it was the Southampton plantations. The Southampton institution, the correctional center, is actually an old plantation that they had slaves at. The actual plantation where people worked the land, whatever it was. It may have been cotton, it may have been tobacco, but this where the actual slaves were, and we were housed there. And like it had a like when I learned that, it had an effect on me, man. It gripped me to think, man, look where I done wind up at. Look what, me not being, purposeful in my life, me not having a direction and being locked in. I'm sitting here at a place that, I detest. Not just for, it being a jail, but man, this is a plantation. I'm here. I felt crazy. But that's where I was at. That's where this story take place. Anyway, I'm in a hole. Uh, I'm in a hole. I was in a hole for a long period of time. They call it administrative segregation. I was in a hole, and I let this guy hold my Walkman. This guy from Petersburg. I can't even think of his name right now. I let him hold my Walkman. Trying to extend grace, be kind to him. I know he ain't had nothing to listen to. He was like, man, come on, man. I said, okay, yeah. I ain't think nothing is a Walkman. It cost what, $20, $30 at the time. I don't even remember how much it cost. May have been more. But, I felt compassion towards him. So I let the guy hold my Walkman. And I think he had it for a couple of days. Now I'm starting to miss my songs now. I'm like, all right now, bro, send that joint back. And he was like, man, I let such and such hold it. And it was a white guy that do tattoos. So I'm like, what? Oh no, he sold me the Walkman. And I'm like, how he sell you? Like, that's my Walkman. You see my name? Because when you in those type of situations, especially back then in the Department of Correction, in personal property, they soldered your name and your state ID number into it. So just in case you lose it, they can return it. If they put it in property, you can get it back. But that's what wind up happening, man. I'm like, man, you knew it was mine. You seen my name on it. You know I'm on yours. How he said, like, he was like, man, I ain't know nothing. I said, you know what? And we in a hole. I really can't get to him unless I pull out a magic trick. But man, I was just, I was fuming. I was mad. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play it off. I was like, man, you know what? That joint was ragged anyway. I'm gonna give me a new one. So we go out to the rec yard, and they let us get recreation in like kennel type cages, like dog kennels almost, just like one walkway. So they usually put 2 people inside the cage together. So, I get out there first. I get the second one, because I don't want to get the first one. I want to get the second one, Cause then people ain't you ain't the first person that people see when they get out there. So I go out to the cage. I said, man, nah, put me in the second one. Let me get in the second one. You don't want to go to the second one, man. Let somebody else get that job. So I go in the second one. Everybody coming to my cage. I'm like, no, you don't want to come in here today, man. I'm trying to do. Oh, man, you can't be in there by yourself. That's what the correction officers were telling me. I like, man, I'm gonna let somebody in, man. Let me relax for a little while. So I see the tattoo guy, the one that turned my Walkman into a tattoo gun. He took the motor out of it, and I was like, man, I already done pieced it out with him. You alright? So we get in there, and all the cages full up, except mine. So I act like I ain't bothered. He get to the, they uncuff him. I ain't do him dirty. I let him uncuff him. So while he in there, he looking at me. I know he nervous. I'm like, man, you you brave for coming in here. And at the time, I was like 18 years old, if I ain't mistaken. He was probably 30. And he looking at me like yeah, like what? I'm like, man, that was the only Walkman I got. Can you like meet me halfway? Like do like what's up? Like give me what's left of it. Oh man, this excuse and that. And the way he was talking, he had like a little, his chest was poked out. So I was like, man, you don't see no wrong in it because you weren't harmed, you weren't violated. You thought you was getting over. But nah, I was violated. That's mine. If you look at the Walkman case, it clearly got my name. I'm S Smart, and that's me. You're like, well, I don't know what to tell you. And I said, well, if we going in this line, we might as well, we might as well dance right quick. So they're like, what you saying? You ain't saying nothing? You ain't saying nothing, youngin'? And I was like, ooh, wait. This white guy, I said, he real spicy. He real spicy. I don't even know nothing about him to, gauge the work he put in, but really, I'd rather I didn't. Because, I don't want to have no, fear in me stepping into a situation. I don't even want to be hearing about your past. So I said, man, you know what? All right, let's get it in. Because I ain't want to sneak him. I just wanted, I wanted my Walkman. I wanted my Walkman or what was left of it because, I wasn't getting no money in there. My peoples weren't sending me no money. Everything I had, I done saved and like whatever trustee or kitchen job I got, I ain't even gonna be doing that too long before I done got in trouble in the system. So, that meant a lot to me. So I'm in there, we tangling. And, he can't fight too good, but he sure can take a punch. I'm hitting him. I'm winding up. Hitting him. He just, got his head ducked down, flailing his arms like windmill style. And I'm like, ooh, wait. His head hurting my hand. I might break my hand hitting on this dude's head. So I'm like, I'm giving it all the torque I got. Yaka. I got nice size. I'm about 190, 6'4", 6'5", 190 at the time. Jakob, I'm hitting him and he ain't wobbling. Like I know the signs when you getting your legs getting wobbly. You ain't wobbling. And I said, ooh. I grabbed him. He got he's kind of solid. And I said, okay. So I'm like, pop, pop. Police, they come around there like, all right, y'all fellas, break it up. All right, man, we ain't breaking nothing up. And I was like, man, I want my Walkman back, man. I want my Walkman back, man. Whatever you did to it, I want it back. So, we sitting there, fight over. He don't want no more. And at this point, my hands kind of hurting. I don't want no more. Because, I done punched myself out. So, I'm like, this dude tough. Maybe I don't hit hard like I think I do, man. Man, need to start working out some more. So, we get back to the cell. They, fuss us out. Oh, y'all gonna be on lock? We already in the hole. Ain't nothing more you could do to us. So, all them empty threats, man. We in the hole. What you gonna put me in a hole in the hole? But they did have a hole in the hole for me, called the dungeon. So, the guy that turned my Walkman into a tattoo gun, he was actually in the cell right under me. And sometimes we used to talk through the vents. So I hear something boop 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 boop. Hey Sam, boop 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 boop. Man, come to the vent. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to hear no threats, man. We can't really like. I don't want to talk up no fight right now, man. You got it. Whatever you talk about, you win, man. He was like, no, 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 man. I just want to apologize, man. I'm gonna send your Walkman back to you. I took the motor out, but the Walkman still work. I'm gonna send that back to you. So he sent the Walkman back, and he was like, man, I just want to apologize to you. That was the hardest I ever got hit in my life. And I just died laughing. He was like, I ain't never get hit that hard. And I'm sitting here thinking my hits is ineffective because he ain't wobbling. And he said that. So that was that. And now, you know, it wasn't no big thing because it ain't get out. I ain't the type of person that be like, yeah, I did that. Da, 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 da. I just breezed it under. So a lot of people ain't even know we got in a fight. You know, just a few people back there, and most of the people that was back there, being that I was holding up, the cage, them was people from back in the dungeon part of the hole. That's why I was just talking about is a hole in the hole. So they, once they get back there, they close the door. So they really can't get word out to the rest of the, population or the rest of the hole. So people ain't even really know we got in a fight. And then he came and pieced it out, talked it out with me, gave me my Walkman back. And, he just, ain't nobody sitting there talking about, I got beat up. So he won't say nothing, I won't say nothing. Now, the other dude, the one that actually sold my Walkman, same thing. I said, we going to the cage. But I guess he must have heard about the fight because I get out to the cage thinking I'm going to get out there first. He already in one. So I said, you know what? I got to go in there. Go in there, got the handcuffs on. Soon as the people close the door and lock the gate, I'm still in cuffs. They ain't even detached the cuffs yet. They just unhook the leash because they'll have you on a leash with the cuffs. Just in case you try to do something, they can kind of jerk you and control you. So they took the leash off, locked the gate. I'm sitting there waiting for them to undo my cuffs. This dude run up on me. Boom, hit me in the face. So I was like, ooh, that felt real light. That felt real light with my hands cuffed. So, I said, man, forget about letting them uncuff me. I run in there, I charged him, hit him with a shoulder blow. I rammed him with my shoulder, rocked him. He fell down. And when he fell, I just started kicking him. Boom, boom, boom. He couldn't get up. So, they came in there, hey, man, stop, stop. The officer that was like, I'm about to spray the mace. So I like, you're going to have to do that. I got the cuffs on. Ain't no way I'm stopping now. Not now. I ain't even got no hands. I was like, man, y'all, you gonna have to spray. So he like, stop. I'm still kicking, doing everything I can with my feet. I was decent with my feet though. Doing everything I can with my feet. And they sprayed us. They got a direct hit on him because he was facing them. They was hitting my back, but it was still, choking me out and stuff. Cause they had I think it was it wasn't the pepper spray. It was the chemical mace. It was the chemical mace. And that stuff, even if it don't get directly on you, boy, it get to you, it work you. So, they broke that up. And it was just one of those situations that, taking it back, sometimes you got to have compassion. Because I could have did worse. But, I wasn't really all that mad. I just wanted to set a precedent. And, I ain't I ain't had no extras for you to be taking. And in that situation, I could have OD'd on them. I could have carried that a little bit further because I had the upper hand. But I didn't. I just wanted my justice. I just wanted my justice. So, I just shared that story with you. Um, Sometimes you can't OD. Don't OD.